Hello, friend. How are you today? I am doing exceptionally well. I'm feeling very excited to share with you a routine that we're going to do today that covers the entire body for strength. So, we're going to do a full body strength routine, and you're going to feel incredibly strong afterwards. I recommend that if you are feeling stiff or if you're feeling like any areas when you're doing any of the movements today aren't exactly right for you, please go ahead and ask me in the community section any questions you have around alignment. I also recommend that you do a gyrokinesis warm-up before you do this exercise routine, because you want to always move your spine first before you start to strengthen your limbs. That is something that I have adhered to for 20 years now. So I highly recommend that you do a warm up, and we have that in the gyrokinesis live section. You could do just the seated warm up, or you could do the entire warm up and then do a few minutes of this video. We are going to have a few different props that we use, and I'm just going to share with you. You're going to need for this a rolled up bath towel for underneath your arms while we're on the ground. So you can put this rolled up bath towel somewhere nearby, and we'll use that when we get on the ground. We're going to use a set of light weights. So we're either going to use 1, 2, or 3 pounds. Doesn't matter how strong you are, even if you are lifting 40 or 50 pounds and bench pressing. Very small, light weights, because we're working small muscles. We're working the rotator area in the back, which are very teeny tiny muscles. So you want somewhere between 1 and 3 pounds. If you have wrist weight, these will work as well. So you don't necessarily need hand weights you can put on wrist weights, but you do want something that's going to provide a little bit of strength building and weight and resistance to that movement. So go ahead and grab those weights. You're going to use a band. And so this band, if you don't have a band, you can do this workout without a band, because you can definitely squat without a band. But if you want extra resistance and strength, you will get a band. Now, as you can see, I have 2 bands here, and one is from the company Alpine Sky, and the other one, and that one is only 15 inches, and it's very taut, so it makes it more resistance. This one comes in a pack of 3, and this one's called Tribe, and we'll have that linked in the prop section of the membership. So this one is a longer, wider band, as you can see from the length. So the purple one is going to be significantly easier to do. I'm going to switch between them for a couple different exercises. You don't need 2 of them. You can use nothing, like I said, or just 1. However, this one comes in a pack of 3. And you will need a band. So I have this small band that I cut years ago at some point. That's just easy for me to grab. So I'm going to use this when we're standing. If you have one of these, a longer open band, you're welcome to use that as well when we do some external rotation when we're standing. So go ahead and pause the video, grab the different props that you're going to need, come back and press play. When we begin, we're going to do 30 seconds of each exercise 2 times through. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab a band. Unless you don't have one, you don't have to grab a band, and you're going to step into the band. So I'm going to move my screen down just a little bit so you can see more of the alignment of my feet as I go through this movement. You're going to move your body towards one side of your room. And what we're going to do here is your feet are parallel together. Your weight is on the outside of the legs. It's not on the inside. So this is really important. You want to make sure when you're doing this side stepping, as we're squatting, that your knees aren't pushing apart the band. So you're going to bend down. And as you see my posture from the side, my back is straight. I'm not hunched. I am in a neutral spine. I'm going to have my hands on my hips. If you'd rather go into fists, if you make a fist here, it actually burns more calories. interesting fact when we make our fist, but that's probably from our fighting days as Homo sapiens. Okay, so we're bending down and we're opening the knees and we're going to step to the side and we're never letting this band get taut. We're going to do 4 steps as long as you have the space. If you don't have the space, you're only going to do 3 steps. And then we're going to move in the other direction. So for 30 seconds, I'm going to put it on the clock. This is our movement. And begin. Open, 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 open. And other side. Keep pulling your stomach in as you're going through this. And again. And again. Woo! Those 30 seconds are up. Brilliant. So the next thing you're going to do is you're only going to step to the side once and then step together, step to the side, step together. So again, being really consistent with opening on the knees. Your weight is on the outside edge of your foot. You're squatting down, neutral spine. Stomach is pulled in. 30 seconds here. So step open together. But don't let the band go loose. If it gets into your back at all, tuck underneath the pelvis. Just make sure not to round your chest forward. And that's it. Those are our 30 seconds. Brilliant. Third squatting exercise. So if you need a little drink here, if you're starting to get your heart rate up, go ahead and take that while I describe the next one. The next one is a slow squat. So we're only going to squat down slowly and then come back up slowly. It's really challenge as low as you can go. Now, when I was teaching in another video, is the counterbalance of your arms forward is so helpful for getting proper alignment into your squat. So when we squat down, our arms are going to go parallel. We're going to lift them up at the same time. And then when we straighten up, we're going to lower them. 30 seconds on the clock. Let's begin. Exhale as you come down. Inhale up. Nice and slow. Weight is on the outside of the foot. Lifting up that arch in your foot. Making sure you don't have flat foot. Beautiful. Yes. That is a very high level functioning movement. We need to make sure that we continue to squat. And when we have something like the band on, go ahead and take it off. You get that proper alignment in your squat. And that is such an essential movement to natural functional movement. The next thing I want you to do is grab your set of light weights with a nice squat. Go ahead and bend down and grab those. And we're going to do 30 seconds of a rotator cuff strengthening movement here. So several of you have talked about shoulder injuries. I have an injury on each shoulder, so I've had to do some rehabilitation to them. Now, as you see my shoulders, I'm plugging them into the socket. I'm holding on, gripping these weights tightly, and I'm going to internally rotate. We're going to do this bilaterally at the same time, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to lift up to where you feel that resistance. Some of us can go up here, and if you do one lift and you're like, oh, it's too much on my shoulder, you need to do it without weights. Go ahead and put your weights down, okay? So we're going to do 30 seconds there. And nice and slow. So it's at a 45-degree angle. So again, if you feel this is too much, go ahead and drop the weight. And that's it. Okay, awesome. We're going to go through that whole routine again. And I'm going to use a lighter band. This is the heaviest band in that set of 3. And this is about as light as I will go. But it allows, the wider the loop, it allows you to step wider. And so you get a little bit different musculature than this yellow one gave me, that I had to stay pretty narrow because it was so taut. So this gets other parts of that muscle group. And what we're working is a muscle for balance. We're working this gluteus and medius muscle here that allows us to really balance for a long time. So it's very important. It's a side step muscle. And if you think through it, how often do you actually side step? Not often, probably, unless you're a football player or a hockey player, or actually many sports, right? However, this is a wonderful exercise for you to do nice and slow. We're going to go 30 seconds, go all the way to one side of the room, and let's begin. Bending down, perfect squat, stomach in, keeping that band taut. And rest. Beautiful. Next one. So a little squat, and then we're going to step to the side, step closer together. Again, don't let your knees come closer and keep the band very taut. So right away into this exercise, step, open together. Every time I take a step, I love to exhale. So it's like I'm blowing out a birthday candle. When you move with breath and rhythm, your body responds in a very positive way by syncing up all of our natural rhythms inside of the body. When we hold our breath, when we're concentrating, it can send a response to tighten everything up. We want to stay loose as we're working out, as we're exercising. So the last part of the squatting routine while we're standing is when we're bringing the arms up. Now, I would like to challenge you on this one to bring your arms up a little bit higher. So we stopped at shoulder width or shoulder height. Arms are shoulder width apart, but now I want you to take your arms up a little bit higher to that 45-degree angle. Make sure you keep your back in neutral, and we're going to begin. Exhale. Again. Again. And rest. Excellent. Let's take off the band. And now we're going to grab weights. Now this time I'm going to go a little lighter. I can feel that first set in my shoulders. I'm just going to put in my wrist weights here. Okay. I got to get it over here. Now, 30 seconds. My fingers are flat if I have wrist weights, and I'm internally rotating. Again, if you have wrist weights and they are above 2 or 3 pounds, too much weight. Okay, these are tiny little rotator muscles. So let's begin and come up. Like a karate chop through the air, about 45 degrees. Now, when I bring it down and I go all the way down, my muscles can relax. Try to keep only down to where you're still engaged and you don't lose it. Don't drop it off. So keep that engagement, time under tension, and relax. So if you felt like you needed a little bit more, you can pause the video, rewind, and do another set of those. I'm only going to do 2 sets of this whole routine. And what I have found in my own 20 plus years of working out is that 2 sets usually will increase my muscle performance and growth. It's the most time efficient and it just feels good. I get minor soreness that I can work out with some gyrokinesis or some Pilates and breath work. Otherwise, if I go to 4 sets, I'm really feeling that it takes multiple days to recover to exercise again. So 2 sets should do it for you. If you want to really challenge yourself, go ahead and do another set. We're going to make our way to the ground. So I'm just going to lower here. We're going to come onto the ground. And when we are on the ground, we are going to use the towel. We're going to use the hand weights. And we're going to use the band. Okay. So to begin, take a hand weight. We're going to lie on the side and we're going to do one more exercise for that glute medius. Okay. We're going to go into clamshell, which is one of my favorite exercises for this area. When you lie down, your knees should be in alignment with your hip. They should not be here. You will not feel it if they are too far away and that space is too much. So bring the knees in right at hip level and then go ahead and take the weight and place it right on top of that thigh bone, right on the knee. And tuck your toes in so that you're not all the way out here. You want your feet moving towards your bum. And we're going to begin 30 seconds on the clock. If this is too much for your elbow, which it is for some people, you can go ahead and lie down or use the towel that's near you as a pillow. And rest. So then place the weight down in front of you. Go ahead and take the pillow and place it underneath your armpit. One thing that you could do that is very helpful is to get a pillow here. So if you don't have a pillow or something nearby, you can stop the video and grab a pillow and get back to it, or you could get onto your elbows. I do like lying my hand down or my head down when I'm doing the next exercise. So when we're doing external rotation, we're not trying to rotate that shoulder forward. You always want to start at that neutral place to make sure that towel is nice and snug underneath your armpit. You are trying to create some distance between that arm and your body. So you're holding the weight and then you're going to very slowly externally rotate and then very slowly return to that center. So you're really trying to connect your mind to the muscles in the back of your shoulder blade as you're moving through this. And begin 30 seconds. Rest. Now we're going to sit up and put the towel on the other side so we can go over there. If you have something for your head, you can move that too. You're going to take your hand weight into the opposite arm. So if you worked this arm, you're going to take it into this arm. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep our elbow right at that shoulder height, and I'm going to move it forward in front of my chest and then out. So from the side, it looks like this. And we want to make sure the elbow doesn't drop. Okay, so we're going to do that for 30 seconds. And begin. Exhale. Now, if this gets too much into your hips, you can bring something to put underneath your bum so that you're sitting, your hips are above your knees. You can also do this kneeling or standing up. And again, if this feels like too much for your shoulder, go ahead and put the weight down and just do the movement without the weight and lower. Very good. Now, go ahead and grab, again, if you don't have one of these bands, you can do the movement without anything. It's a really good movement. I'm just connecting my mind to my musculature here. So go ahead and grab one of your taut bands that gives you some resistance. And then you're going to hold underhand. So like you're throwing a softball underhand, you're going to grip somewhere on this band and you're going to start pretty tight. So maybe a fist width apart. And we're going to hold this for 30 seconds. So holding, sitting up tall. You can see all my muscles engaged. My thumbs are pointing outward and I'm holding this for 30 seconds. And we rest. So we're going to repeat that whole sequence on the other side. So I'm going to come down onto my shoulder and I'm going to begin with these clamshells. So I'm going to just prop myself up here and begin with the clamshells. Weight is on the top of the knees. Bring your knees in, bring your toes back, and we'll start with 30 seconds and begin. Try not to open your hip. You shouldn't be going like this with the movement. It's literally raising the knee only about 2 inches, maybe 3 inches up. So it's just the knee opening. My hips are quiet. They're not moving forward and backward. Now, I always like to exhale when I lift on that contraction. That went by fast. And place the weight down in front of you. And then let's go ahead and grab something for underneath your armpits. And I'm going to have a little headrest here. Now, when you grab your weight, again, don't let it roll that shoulder forward. Plug your shoulder in. And then make sure that you're holding tight at that neutral position before we go and externally rotate. Let's begin. I can really feel it on the shoulder, especially because I use the mouse on the computer so frequently. I can really feel that this shoulder likes to rotate forward on its own. So I have to make sure that I'm doing my best here to plug that shoulder in and not let it go too far forward. I can really feel this exercise and relax. Now we're going to sit all the way up and we're going to take the hand weight into the other arm. So I'm just going to prop my bum up. You can do that with the towel too if you don't have a pad like I do. I have a lot of pads all over because I like cushioning. Now, let's grab that other weight. Make sure the elbow is in line with the shoulder or even higher. And rest. Last time we're going to do this. So go ahead and grab your band. Sitting up tall, I'm going to put 30 seconds. Make sure your grip is rather taut and begin. Thumb out, knuckles tucked under in alignment with the wrist, elbows plugged into the rib cage and pull. And rest. Beautiful. That is a nice 20-minute stimulating for your upper body, for your hips and balance. It really gets upper body and lower body and these areas around our hips and our shoulders that need extra muscular support. They these structures here, because they have circular range of motion in the shoulders and in the hips, when we lose musculature there, those are two areas and two joints, major areas of the body that can get easily injured and have alignment go off in different ways as we get older. Really important just to activate those muscles on a consistent basis. So this particular routine could be done 3 times a week and with a space in between the days. 2 times a week would be excellent for increased strength around your shoulder girdle, around your hips, around your waist. I highly recommend you do another video, even for 20 minutes, just to move and stretch your body. Like I said, either you could grab an abdominal video or you could grab a gyrokinesis video. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd love to hear your comments below the video and in the community section. Thank you so much. I will see you soon. Bye for now.